Cindy Speaker, and I have with me today Attorney David Daggett of Daggett, Shuler, Attorneys at Law. How you doing, David?
I'm doing good, Cindy. How you doing today?
Doing great.
Good, good. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, you keep very busy, so I'm really happy that you're able to spend a few minutes here.
Yep.
Well, we're going to talk about an important topic, and we're going to talk about general safety tips for kids waiting at school bus stops, as well as just general safety tips related to school buses, which I do not think are common knowledge.
Right, right. And it's a serious issue. And I'd like to start, if I could, by kind of putting it in perspective.
Absolutely.
Over the past 10 years in the United States, there's been about 1,300 deaths of young people or students from violations of school bus laws. Likewise, in North Carolina, over the past 12 months, there have been 12 deaths and 47 serious injuries from drivers violating school bus passing laws. So it's a serious topic, and it's something that we all need a reminder on. I think one of the things that happens is school buses are running during a busy time of the day, and people's minds are on other things. And most of the time, I think it's that you drift off, not that you're intending to do something bad or harmful, but the consequences are tragic. And in what we do here, we've seen, lives of families absolutely shattered from violation of school bus safety laws. So I think it's important that we review them.
Absolutely. Well, and I think it is kind of confusing. I know for me personally, when I still don't really know. I'm looking forward to finding that out from you, although is it the same across the country? Let's clarify that, because you're talking about North Carolina.
Yeah, I'm talking about North Carolina, but the laws are basically the same everywhere. There may be some minor variations, but they're basically the same.
Okay.
And, generally, the law is anytime you're coming up behind a school bus and it puts on its flashers and puts out the stop sign, you're required to stop. Doesn't matter how many lanes there are. If you're going the same way as a school bus, you have to stop. Generally, any time that there's fewer than, or any time that there's more than 4 lanes and or a divided road, the opposing traffic does not have to stop. If it's 4 lanes or less in an undivided road, you have to stop both ways. Okay? So why don't we break that down and go through the different scenarios if we can?
Let's do that, because we have some graphics here. Let's start with the first graphic and maybe scenario number 1.
Okay, graphic number 1, that's just a 2-lane road, cars going both directions. When a school bus stops, puts its arm out, both sides must stop, period. No exceptions. So that's a pretty simple one.
Yeah.
Okay, but graphic number 2. This gets a little bit more confusing for people because we're starting to see a lot of these roads, particularly in and around our metropolitan areas, where you have a 2-lane road with a center turn lane.
Right.
In that situation, it's exactly like a 2-lane road. Both sides must stop. And I tell you where this gets dangerous and confusing is, I don't know about where you are, Cindy, but here, people use that center turn lane for an entrance ramp, a passing lane.
Yes.
They get in it way too early, and there's a lot of taking aggressive advantage of that center lane.
Right. Yes.
If there's a school bus, it doesn't make any difference. If you're 3 lanes or less, it is always, always, always both sides stop.
Okay.
Right?
So let's look at the third part there.
Okay, graphic number 3, that's 2-lane traffic going both ways, an undivided road, meaning there's no barrier in between, no median, no anything like that. Again, that's just like a 2-lane road. All traffic from both ways must stop when the school bus stops. Okay?
Okay. Very good.
So, so
Yeah.
that graphic 1, 2, and 3, all traffic going both ways must stop.
Okay.
Right?
Now it's going to get more complicated.
Gets a little bit more complicated. So let's go to graphic number 4. And graphic number 4 is a 4-lane divided road, either divided by a median or by a barrier. In that case, all traffic going the same direction as the school bus must stop, but traffic coming the opposite direction does not have to stop. Of course, that's because there's the barrier there to stop kids from running across, and or a median, which gives an extra buffer. I will say, though, that we all got to remember, whenever we see a school bus, we have children as young as 5 and 6 years old riding a school bus. And 5 and 6-year-olds are not predictable. And they get out and they see something attractive, they take off running.
Yeah.
So we need to be on red alert, even in the situation of example number 4, illustration number 4. I have to be on red alert. As you know, I still have a high schooler. High schoolers are still very excitable and energetic. So it doesn't matter the age. Our primary concern has to be to keep our children's and our students safe, and that should rise above all else.
Absolutely.
Okay? So can we move to illustration 5?
Yeah, absolutely.
So illustration number 5, again, I think this is a particularly dangerous situation. This is a 4-lane road that additionally has the middle turn lane, making it into a 5-lane road. Okay?
Right.
In that scenario, that is the same as having a median or barrier between the two sets of lanes. So again, you always stop when you're on the same side going with the school bus, but in illustration number 5, you do not have to stop if you're coming the opposite direction. Now, this is the one that's really scary for me, and I really don't like that, because with that middle turn lane, you don't have a physical barrier, and you don't have a median or some other blank stretch that has no vehicles. So what can happen is, we're all familiar with basketball and a pick being set so you can't see around the other side, is if you have a car in that middle turn lane, the traffic coming the other way, they may not be able to see a child who's trying to cross the road or that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I plead with and urge all drivers that if you're in the situation of illustration 5, no, the law does not require you to stop if you're coming the other way. However, please, please, please be on red alert.
Yeah.
Tragedy can happen just like that, and we want to give our young people every chance we possibly can.
Absolutely. Well, David, and we're going to put some resources here. You get some terrific graphics here.
Yes,
and
yes.
We're going to turn that into an ebook, and we'll make that available so that we'll link it to this broadcast so that people can get that.
Okay, great.
But honestly, I think this is so important, and I'm actually glad to hear that this pertains, for the most part, nationally, because as I said, I err on the side of caution. So when I see a school bus, I pretty much stop whenever I see it. I'm sure there's times when maybe I wouldn't have to, but I'm just not taking any chances. But not everybody is going to err on the side of caution. So I think it's important.
The other day, I saw a car passing a school bus in the middle turn lane, set up like illustration number 2. And I mean, tragedy can strike in just an instant, and it can be devastating.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is a reminder for all of us. Like I tell my kids, is when I'm lecturing somebody else, I'm talking to myself also. That this is a good reminder for all of us when we're driving
Yeah.
and we're in a hurry on the way to work, or thinking about something else on the way to work, or in the afternoon, if
Right.
the hustle and bustle of life. Remember to reorient yourself if there's a school bus around, because safety should always be paramount in our minds in that situation.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's great information. I love that you're so community minded and your firm, you guys do a lot in the community. I know you're very committed. And the other thing that I love is that it genuinely comes from the heart. You've got a firm full of people that care deeply.
Oh, we
And
do. Our team is something else. I'm so proud of our lawyers and staff, and what they do for our folks. We just had a couple Google reviews come in today, and it was very, very meaningful the way we helped some folks, and genuinely everybody here from our front desk on, we wrap our arms of love, either literally or metaphorically, around them, and try to take good care of them. And as a community, that's what we need to do with our young people also.
yeah,
Is we need to
absolutely.
collectively wrap our arms of love and support around our students, including students on the school bus. So
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Well, David, thanks, and just give us your contact information. I know a lot of people
sure.
like to know how to reach you if necessary.
Sure. So easily available by telephone, 336-724-1234. Our folks are wonderful and will direct you wherever you need to go or give you some helpful information. In fact, we just had one of those Google reviews the other day that said they called on something and we gave them exactly the right help and guidance. They didn't need a lawyer, and it handled their situation. So we're always happy to do that. And then our website has lots of good information, and we'll have information on school bus safety on there also at www.daggettshulerlaw.com. So lots of helpful information.
David, as always, thanks so much for your time. It's been really great, and appreciate it.
Thank you, Cindy. Great being with you. Have a great day.
You too. Thanks, everybody. We'll
Bye-bye.
see you again soon.